Hey everybody, it's me, Shaw360, and this is going to be a very brief video because I know that some of my friends here on YouTube are going to do more in-depth videos of their own about the situation, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. L, Myung-soo from Infinite, put out a statement, and Woolim confirmed that he is not going to be re-signing with the label. He's going to, for now, have his own agency, and then who knows who he'll sign up with later. He is saying that he's still going to be a member of Infinite, but he's just not going to be signed to Woolim. So, and actually, reading his statement, it wasn't necessarily that he said he's still going to be a member of Infinite. It's more that he said he'll be wherever In-Spirits need him. So, I mean, take that for whatever you think it is. But the reason why this is coming as a bit of a discussion piece is because Hoy is gone, so he's not with Infinite or with the label. Most of the rest of the members are in the military. We haven't really heard about their renewal status, and then he's saying that he's not re-signing with the label. So I'm not saying this is the end of Infinite, but there aren't very many groups in K-pop history where the members are signed to other labels, but they're able to come together to do group promotions. Now, there are some groups where they've always been on different labels. For instance, 2AM, the members were on different labels, but they were all a part of 2AM. And then Brown Eyed Girls, throughout their history, they've had members on different labels, but they've still done a group comeback. But that's few and far between. It's not the norm. It's not typical. So it does call into question what the history of Infinite will be. Now, there are other groups where the same thing has happened, where members have left the label but announced that they are still a part of the group. 2PM being one of them. Taekyon is no longer with JYP, but he did not announce that he's leaving 2PM or that 2PM is disbanding. But like I said, you just don't see a lot of those groups coming back. Prime example would be SNSD. You had Tiffany, Sohyun, and I think it was Yuri that left. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure I'm wrong. But anyway, you had several members that left the group, and they said that they were still members of SNSD, but SNSD has not put out a project with those members that left SM since they left SM. So is it all lip service? Is it something they're doing to protect their own identities as entertainers? Is it something to keep the fans on their side? Or is it realistic that you can be a member of a group, but you are on a totally different label with totally different schedules and totally different priorities, you know? Because even if you haven't left the group and you're still on the same label, that doesn't always mean that the group is coming together to do things. Another perfect example of that would be FX. You have Victoria, who hasn't been seen with the other members of FX in literal years. Crystal recently did an interview where she said, you know, she's kind of done with singing and dancing. She wants to move on to other things. And so you have to wonder, like, what is the future of that group? So sometimes these press releases, they do more to cause anxiety for someone who's a fan of a group than they really do to kind of ease people's fears. Because even if you say, I'll always be a member, are you really a member still? And while we've mentioned SNSD, I think it's important to talk about it because it is the elephant in the room. A lot of the Korean public, especially Sons, have noticed that there are at least 3 line-for-line verbatim passages in L's fan letter that seem to mirror identical to Sohyun's letter when she left SNSD. And, you know, some of the things that are in L's letter are simple platitudes that you always hear idols say whenever they're delivering bad news. Like, I hate to come to you with this kind of news. I'm sorry if I made you worry. I'm sad if this made you sad. That kind of stuff you always see in the letters. More of it was, you know, talking about experiences with the other members, being with the company for however long you've been with the company, and then taking on new challenges. Those are the passages that people are saying line for line are copied. And I don't speak Korean. I don't read Korean like that, so I can't say that it's copied. I've seen the highlighted things, but really it's a different language, so it's hard for me to say. But I think that if a lesson is learned here, it's maybe try to write letters that aren't the same platitudes that everyone's used to hearing. I mean, there's a formula that people follow because it's tried and true and it's been used for so long. So you hear a lot of the same things over and over again from different idols. But maybe instead of giving the same old, I love my members, thank you to the label for supporting me, I want to try new things that everybody does, maybe say something a little bit clearer. Maybe say something like, you know, my most memorable activities with the group were this, or, you know, we had such a good time on this tour, and, you know, I have a specific project in mind, and I hope when you see me that you'll embrace me the way you always have. Well, everybody says that. But, you know, maybe try to be a bit more creative when you're coming up with these resignation letters, only because people do look at these things with a fine-tooth comb, and if you don't want to be accused of plagiarism, maybe you need to come up with a different spin to it, you know. Like I said, there's a lot of things that just get used over and over and over again, and we all acknowledge that, but, you know, it's kind of hard to not say the same thing when what you're basically saying is, thanks for everything, I'm out. You know, like, it's just really hard to phrase that in different ways. But it's just a sad day. I'm sad for my friends who are in spirits. I'm sad for people who have enjoyed Infinite for a long time, because I know these last few years have been a trying time, and I wish Myung-soo the best. I hope that he's a good person and that he's sincere about the things that he said. I hope that he didn't plagiarize that goodbye letter, because that would be real weak sauce. That's not a good way to start off your solo career. And I don't know, I hope that there's a conclusion to whatever the story is going to be for Infinite, because there's nothing worse than being in limbo. No one likes that. It's just, if you've been a fan of After School, if you've been a fan of SNSD, if you've been a fan of FX, if you've been a fan of a lot of different groups that no one really knows kind of what's going on, that's not a fun place to be. And I think fans deserve more. I think fans deserve more because of all that they've given to both the groups and the record label. They don't deserve to be having their feelings played with. They don't deserve to be put in last place. They really do deserve some sort of answer. So I wish you guys the best. I hope that things turn out well for you. And like I said, this is brief because it's not my place, since this is not my favorite group. But I wanted to address it because, like I said, I have so many friends who are in spirits and who have followed the group for so long. And, you know, especially with it being second gen, the second gen landscape after a certain amount of time became very narrow, and so you can't help but care about other second gen groups because there's so few of them that are still intact. So, you know, it's big news for us as second gen fans to see this happening, but I do wish everybody the very best. Anyway, that's all I really have to say about it, and, you know, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.